Hey YouTube, it's me. Today I'll be talking about network technologies. Like I said, I'll be talking about network technologies in section 1, and I'll be covering points such as network, operating systems, protocols, layout and devices. Which is in section 1. Section 2 is I will discuss more about emerging technologies in the final part, and I have to write a report, but I'm not going to do that. It's not in the video today. Network technologies. So networking is itself computers which are connected together for its main purpose. So main purpose is to communicate and share resources like printers, scanner and file servers. So the management of networking between devices makes it more successful. It's like a motor board or something, those circuit board. So it involves different types of technology in order for the network to be managed well. So local area networks, LANs, are a type of network which span to have a connection for computers and other devices for a limited area. These places would include residence, office and school, because it's normally found in those places because it's a local area network. So LAN combines hardware and software in order for networks to be able to perform at a specific speed and in a certain way. So it can serve up to 2 to 3 users or even thousands. And the most common cables are the twisted pair, the coaxial and fiber optic cable, which is used for network media to transfer data. These type of LAN technologies are common in networks such as fiber, distributed data interface, token ring, and Ethernet. Ethernet is common. It's like a wired internet type thing, connection. It's the way you connect to the internet is through a wire, the Ethernet cable. That's how most organizations use their internet. And fiber optic is one of the fastest cables, or is the fastest, I would say. And the other two are not that quick. So wide area networks. So WAN is a network connection which expands itself to a wide geographical area, which is the difference between it and an LAN. Because LAN is normally wide. It's only for local. Because WAN could go all over the place. So a WAN will consist of 2 to more or more LANs. Computers that are connected to a wide area network are often connected to public networks like the telephone. They are also connected through leased lines and satellites. So there are different types, like the metropolitan area network, which is MAN. I think that's what the police use, I believe. And public access network, which is used by the public, validated network, and virtual private network. VPN is like basically your own home, but you have your own personal computer, and only a certain household can access this Wi-Fi connection, this network. So wireless local area networks. So this is the wireless one. This is not WAN, but it's wireless. So it is a wireless computer network that can link to 2 or more devices by using wireless distribution methods like spread spectrum or radio in a small area, including home, school and office. Network operating systems is a type of system software that is specifically written to support networking functions, particularly over an LAN network. According to the books, the function of a network operating system is to implement network protocol like e.g. ICMP, SNMP, and it includes user login and authentication. So to enable yourself to access the network, you have to log in, and then you can open up the computer. If you manage the function of logging in and what accounts need to be in, you get an admin login, because they're the only ones that can have more control over what you're doing. And there's administrative functions such as email and security support. This usually consists of two different parts, the server and the client. Because like I said, it was part of, if you have control on that, whoever has to control, or which user has to control over it. So the latter would need to be installed into each device, such as workstations and many other devices, so they have the ability to communicate with the server. This would not include Microsoft's very own NOS and other known commercial NOSs. Novel is a network operating system used for multitasking and for running various services on the computer. This operating system will run on a local area network by using networkware, which could run into different LANs. It can also be connected through Ethernet or token ring network. Also, it provides a consistent interface for users and programmers, which is independent of the hardware itself, which can be used for communicating messages. Linux is another operating system. That's the one on my computer, on my mum's laptop, on our computer, the family computer. And is an open source operating system which helps run older operating systems and keeps on changing and updating, because it does update constantly, and it's free to download and use. And it allows users to manage their files but have full control of processing, like saving, organizing and locating files, and printing work out and backing up the files. The network is supported, which is TCP, IP, which are both wired and wireless. Protocols are the set of rules that will determine how data is to be transmitted between computers, which would manage the transmission of data, and it's very common. It can give instructions to computers, and it would try to communicate with them, reminding them when they are meant to send and receive data. There are different types of protocols, like there's the list here. Simple Network Managing Protocol, which is SNMP, which is like a set of protocols used for managing complex networks. The first versions of SMP was developed in the early 1980s. SMP works by server-based manager processes, polling agents, which is how they run, which is to find out how well they perform. Then a manager would process and report. The manager process will report the statistics to the network, and it will enable the performance to be checked and discover the root problem, so the problem can be fixed much more easily. So this can help make sensible plans for network growth. Internet Control Message Protocol. This is used for helping technicians and operating systems to discover problems during IP data transmissions. One common manual use is ping, which uses echo request to text connectivity between two IP devices, sending and recognizing a large amount of data, and that is when the time of the transmission will take place. The layouts, there are different types of layouts of the networks. Some of them, the most common use is LAN technology, which is Ethernet technology, originally devised by Digital, Intel and Aerox. And this was released in 1980 for the IEEE, which stands for this Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers as a blueprint. The use of Ethernet technology has evolved over the years. Look, this is how the internet was, because there's a lot of wires used, and these are the type of networks layouts. So there's different types of cabling, like WAN connection is for building, would enter the building on the ground floor being piped to each floor using vertical cabling, which can also be known as the backbone wiring. Backbones are typically use Gigabit Ethernet. Each room is set up to give wiring signals with hubs and switches. Fast Ethernet cables run from special panels onto the walls throughout the entire floor. From here, fast Ethernet cables are connected in order to share resources from devices such as workstations, servers, shares, printers, and photocopies, and many other devices. So this is like a star topology, because we can go back here, there's this topology, and all of these are the layouts, topology layouts, like in the line. This one is more better than the other ones, the fully connected one, because every device is connected and it's more quicker, I would say. Topologies. So a network topology is the shape and form of how the network is connected so they can communicate with various elements like links, nodes, which came from the computer. There are different types of topologies which are used for network and bus topology. So the bus network is the most simplest one. So it's like a line basically. This is the bus network. It's like this line. It's like this one, but it's more, the dots are diagonal. Each dot is the opposite, going up and down. It's like a zigzag. Then the ring topology is the round one, like I showed earlier. The star one is the one in the middle, then it goes out, branches outwards. The mesh topology is the one that I was pointing at, that says it means that it's the fully connected one basically. Oh no, it's this one. Sorry. And the tree ones here. This is just basically wireless, fully connected. They're all very restrictive in their own way. You can read here. Wireless networking is a method of connection which many homes, telecommunication networks, and enterprises avoid the cost of installing wires into buildings and providing the need for connection with any equipment and to locations around the building. Wi-Fi is the most common use of wireless connection, which is used for mobile devices by mobile devices. But with Wi-Fi, there are no topologies that exist. It just connects you straight to the network. So you don't really need a wire. It's basically wireless, like as we already know. And I think it's more quicker and more accessible to get into the network quickly. And all you need to do is just log in to a connection. If the Wi-Fi is free, you have to sign in, but you need to tick the boxes, terms and conditions. For example, there's a public Wi-Fi and there's private Wi-Fi. Network devices are components that are used for connecting computers or electric devices together so they can communicate with another via the internet, or they can communicate with each other through different devices, so they can able to share such files. Like if I'm sharing a file like a photo or something, now I want to do it for another device, I can use Bluetooth, or I can use these. Okay, this is the switch. So the switch is a networking device that can connect between network devices by creating segments to different types of network, which are used for all sorts of purposes, and it can increase bandwidth but can reduce the amount of work a single computer needs to go through to increase the network performance. It switches from one computer to another and has a fair share amount of work to be done. A hub, which is this box, a router. Some people call it router, some people call it hub, and it's like this. It's known as the connection point to a computer network. So it has different ports, up to 4 and 5. And the hub transmits data from one port to the next in order to connect itself. And the LANs can see the packet of data which is then being transmitted. The router is the device. It's similar to the hub basically, because it is another connection point as well, because that's another way of connecting through Wi-Fi. So the router is a device which ports forward between networks, connected networks, and is usually connected to more than 2 data lines from different networks. When the data comes in, the router, because it routes data from its original location to a new location. The server, as you already know, is the network device which is used for networking to manage network resources. There are many different types, but these are the ones here. So a file server is a computer and storage server that is used for storing files, and a printing one is one for printing, a server that could be used for printing, and it manages the amount of printing network traffic. So let's say you're on Microsoft Word and you're trying to print something out and there's like a queue. That's what it is, basically. And networking, a database service, it basically manages database queries. A workstation is a special computer which is designed for scientific and technical purposes. These computers are usually expensive to purchase and to set up. This is primarily used for one person at a time, and they can be commonly connected to a local area network and is run on a multi-user operating system. Network interface card is a circuit board which is installed into a computer so that it can be connected to a network. This provides network connection that is long running for the computer to be able to get into the network. There are computers and workstations which have LAN, have their own network interface card which specifically is designed for the LAN technology. Vendor-specific hardware is a business approach to ensure all products and technologies are compatible and interchangeable. Vendor-neutral products are designed to work in a particular way and have a particular hardware and software which are compatible to this particular device. For example, Apple is this vendor-specific hardware and software, because what is compatible for Apple, because only Apple users know about this. Like, basically, you log into a Mac computer and it's only compatible to that device. It's very limited in terms of what Apple wants to install. Like, it's only made for Apple, like MacBook. Like, Final Cut Pro is made for Apple, and so is Safari, because they're the main software apps. Like, when you download apps, like the iTunes Store, you can't download it onto Windows. And on my computer, I don't have that much. Because when I was looking for editing software, I did find it hard to find the right software for my computer, because it's on a different operating system. It's not on Windows. You can get many apps on, applications on, so I did find it hard to find software for my computer. The only software that was available was WeVideo, which I might explain in another video. I might do editing on what's the advantages and disadvantages of editing on different softwares that I've been using, that I have used, editing softwares that I've used for my filmmaking. So I can do a video on that if you want me to do that. So Linux is not really restricted, but it is. From my computer, it is. Emerging technologies are new establishments which are currently developing or have been developed over the next 5 to 10 years, which affects both business and social environment. This includes information technology, wireless data communication, man-made communication, on-demand printing, and biotechnologies. So video demand is video on demand is basically this app, and you can watch things online now, like for example Netflix and You can watch films and box sets, such as there's such programs like Netflix and Amazon Prime and Channel 4 and BBC iPlayer. Channel 4 have their own app where you can watch catch-up telly, and ITV as well, and BritBox. There's a new one called BritBox, and Apple have their own one as well. Service virtualization is basically to do partitioning the server into smaller bits. So this is without virtualization. So this is with, because basically it partitions everything. It's like dividing each server up. Like it can mask, or they could be hidden from other users. And it is used by dividing the physical server into private or virtual servers. And this could be dedicated to a single user. And cloud computing, which is now popular, or which has been popular in the past 10 years. It came out when I was in secondary school, I would say. So, cloud computing is like storing files from hardware devices to software, virtual devices onto the cloud. Like, for example, when I finish taking pictures, it goes straight into the cloud. It saves my pictures onto the cloud instantly. And sometimes I don't really like that feature because I don't want that picture to be there. But it stores that picture onto the cloud, stores that file. So I know this file is safe under my name, my username basically. So OneDrive is an example, and then Google Drive as well. And there's Apple, I think they have their own one as well. Voice over IP, like Skype, WhatsApp and that. Yahoo Messenger, Facebook Messenger. You can use voiceovers, so you can make phone calls and text for free without the cost of dialing somebody's number. Dialing you have to pay on Skype, but other devices you don't need to, because it's free of charge and you only need a Wi-Fi connection. I had to tell my uncle about it because I tried to persuade him to get WhatsApp because it's more free for me to text him and send him photos and things and videos. So I was telling him about it. And I said, how come you don't have WhatsApp? He said, I didn't know you can do something like that. And I told him about it. It was for free. My other uncle told him as well. We both told him about it. You can interact with friends and family without the need to pay for more data, unless you're using your data. But if you're using a Wi-Fi connection, I would say it doesn't contribute to paying your phone bill through Wi-Fi. Mobile networking is a term which is used for technology that can support voice and data network connectivity by using wireless connection such as Bluetooth and Wi-Fi via radio transmission waves to pick up the signal. The most familiar application is for mobile networking and mobile phones. 4G, 3G is the lower one. It's really old. That's a long time ago. 4G, which my phone has, is a little bit faster than 3G in terms of connectivity, connecting to Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and that, and for transmitting 5G is like 10 times or maybe much more, or over 10 times faster, I would say. and it's supposed to be really, the connectivity is meant to be really fast. And apparently EE is the first company to even do 4G. And they're also the first company to do 5G, which is quite, they're the ones who paved the way. The network phone company, EE, was the one that paved the way, basically. And I'm on EE now, so I think I would recommend you to use EE for that reason. Web interfacing is another emerging technology which is used for softwares to interact with through the web server. The user interface will be a web browser and a web page, and will be downloaded and rendered. So it can recognize what type of websites you're using. The only disadvantage of using this is with the technique used for different versions of the same thing, like different OS needs different applications, which can be very frustrating at times. I had that problem, but I'm not going to get into details. So I want to say thank you for listening. I know this video is a bit scrappy. I haven't done a voiceover in a while. Thank you lot for being patient with me and for being dedicated to listen to what I have to say. I'm trying really hard to make videos as much as I can. I know my voice has not been the best today. The way I explained some of the slides haven't been great, but I will do my best in the next video, and I hope you lot enjoy watching